Hello friends, this is going to be a very quick little video. I'm not going to spend too much time on anything else other than explaining what is happening because it's going to go so quick. So this is one of my quote journals, and this is one page. It's just one single page. I have printed the quotes that I wanted to use on a regular piece of paper. Once I ran it through my printer, I added pieces of scrapbook paper exactly on top of the areas where the words were printed. And so there I was able to have the quotes printed on top of pattern paper. So there I'm showing you where I am on that particular quote journal. That personal size TN was already full of quotes, so I had to start on another one. And again, this I'm keeping the same pattern with regards to how I'm working on these layouts. I've decided to use everything to decorate the pages is by Maggie Holmes, crepe paper. Most of the stuff, some maybe embellishments, are from other collections, but we all love Maggie Holmes and all her designs because they're florals, and of course I love florals. So I've kept all my supplies close by, all of the collections that I have, so that I can just grab whenever I'm working on my quote journal. That's a little die cut of doily die cut, and I went ahead and just, whenever I'm working on it, if I have a piece of scrap paper, I usually just cut extra ones so that I can keep them handy. And so I'm just kind of going through all my little embellishments. This little box here contains everything by crepe paper and Maggie Holmes. So it's kind of easy. You can see that there's lots of patterns that I'm mixing, and I am okay with that. I feel like I am very colorful when it comes to layers and any of my work. I love color, and I think that's one thing that's attracted me to Maggie Holmes. The florals, of course, and their choice of colors on most of their collections are gorgeous. So I am attracted to it. And so look at all the different patterns and the different colors I have going on here, and I absolutely do not mind mixing them. So I've chose this little card here, and I try to keep things balanced. For some reason, whenever I work on layouts, I tend to do the same and repeat the pattern either left to right or or top to bottom. So I cut that card because I like that black polka dot, just to bring out more of that darker color that was on that yellow background. I grabbed this 6x6 paper pad, also by Maggie Holmes, just to find little bits and pieces to add. I decided that blue just wasn't working, so I grabbed this other paper and just traced that tag because I did like the size, and because it has a darker green, it kind of goes well with the green that's on the background. uh, Sometimes my logic is just plain and simple, try to keep mixing the same colors. Now the patterns are all over the place, and you can see there's florals, polka dots, um, and then that paisley pink there. So that I love, but the colors, now you can see that I'm starting to switch things around so that they kind of make sense. Although there is a lot of pattern going on, the colors kind of stay kind of cohesive, so that doesn't make your eye and your mind go like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? So I went ahead and cut the quote a specific size that would fit that the page. These personal size pages are very small, so one quote is plenty to add. And of course, the best part about it is that you have the rest of the page just for embellishing. So I'm putting everything together now. One tip that I have is when you work on layers, try to add your adhesive in the center of whatever piece you're gluing down, because most of the time we add other little bits and pieces to the side or underneath, and so therefore you don't have to peel things up in case you decide to add something else. You can just lift the either the left or the right because the glue is only on the center. As always, I do a little bit of doodling around whatever, especially if it's a blank paper or a paper that doesn't have a lot of pattern like this one here. Just to kind of make the piece itself feel more anchored to the design, if that makes sense. So I'm gluing everything down. I'm sure coming to the end here pretty quick. I told you it's going to be a quick little video. I have this little photo corners there that it's an actual punch, and I believe is by EK Success. It's kind of an old one, so I'm not even sure if it's still available, but I really like it. It punches out two of these little photo corners. So that's just to add another little, embellishment. And whenever you're working on a layout like this, just look at your empty spaces or an area where you're not going to be covering your, the entire layers underneath. So for example, here, this little stork, also by crepe paper, of course. It's to the side is just another little accent, but it's not really covering anything else that I've already done. That's one thing for me. If I'm going to add layers, I don't want to cover most of the layers underneath. Layers and layers are beautiful, but there is a trick about how to create a composition where everything is still kind of shows. I found just a couple more little things from this little sticker book here, also by Maggie Holmes, to complete my layout. And I am done. Stay tuned for close-ups. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.